Welcome to Toxic from Reddit, where real toxic relationship stories come to life. Here you'll hear true stories from people who experience toxic relationships from different perspectives. Partners dealing with cheating, manipulation, gaslighting, red flags, and all the emotional chaos that comes with loving someone who hurts you. Stories of betrayal, of finding strength to leave, of discovering the truth, of heartbreak, of healing, and the raw reality of toxic love. This is a real story, shared anonymously on Reddit. Some details have been changed to protect the identity of the people involved. Hi everyone, my name is Melissa. I'm 31 years old, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I need to tell you about the most shocking and devastating situation that has completely destroyed my relationship and turned my entire life upside down, which is that 3 days ago, my boyfriend's ex-wife showed up at my front door. She was visibly pregnant, and she told me that she's 5 months pregnant with my boyfriend's baby, that they've been having an affair for the past year, and that my boyfriend has been lying to both of us, telling her that he was going to leave me and get back together with her, and telling me that he had no contact with her whatsoever. And now I'm realizing that my entire relationship has been a lie, that the man I love and trust has been cheating on me with his ex-wife, and that he's about to have a baby with her. And I don't know what to do or how to move forward from this betrayal. I'm going to tell you this entire story from the beginning because there's so much context and so many layers of deception that you need to understand. My boyfriend's name is Jason. He's 35 years old, and we've been together for 2.5 years. Jason was married before he met me. He was married to a woman named Vanessa for 7 years, and they got divorced about 6 months before Jason and I started dating. When Jason and I first met, he was very open about the fact that he had recently gotten divorced, and he told me that his marriage had ended because he and Vanessa had grown apart, that they had different goals and values, and that they had mutually decided to end the marriage. Jason said that the divorce had been difficult but necessary, and that he was ready to move on and find love again. I appreciated Jason's honesty about his past, and I didn't see his divorce as a red flag because he seemed to have processed it and moved on. Jason told me that he and Vanessa had agreed to have minimal contact after the divorce, that they didn't have children together so there was no reason to stay in touch, and that they had both moved on with their lives. Jason and I met at a friend's birthday party, and we hit it off immediately. Like, we had great chemistry, we made each other laugh, and we had a lot in common. We started dating, and I fell in love with Jason quickly. Like, he was kind and attentive and romantic, and he made me feel special and loved. After we had been dating for about 3 months, Jason told me that he loved me, and I said it back, and our relationship became very serious. We started spending all of our time together. We talked about our future, and Jason would tell me that he had never felt this way about anyone before, that I was the love of his life, and that he wanted to spend forever with me. About 6 months into our relationship, I moved into Jason's apartment, and we started building a life together. Everything seemed perfect. Like, we were happy, we rarely fought, and I felt like I had found my person. Jason would tell me all the time how lucky he was to have me, how much he loved me, and how he couldn't imagine his life without me. Jason never talked about Vanessa. Like, he would occasionally mention something about his marriage in passing, but he never went into detail, and he never mentioned having any contact with her. I assumed that Jason and Vanessa had completely cut ties after the divorce, and I never thought to question it. About a year into our relationship, I noticed that Jason had started being more protective of his phone. Like, he would keep it face down. He would take it with him everywhere, including to the bathroom, and he would sometimes step outside to take phone calls. When I asked Jason who he was talking to, he would say it was work stuff or that it was one of his friends. I didn't think too much of it at the time, because I trusted Jason and I didn't want to be the kind of girlfriend who was paranoid or controlling. But looking back now, I can see that this was when the affair with Vanessa probably started. About a year and a half into our relationship, Jason started working late more often. Like, he would say that he had projects or meetings that required him to stay at the office until 8 or 9 p.m. I was annoyed because it meant we weren't spending as much time together, but I tried to be supportive because I knew that Jason was working hard to advance in his career. Jason also started going on more business trips. Like, he would say that he had to travel for work, and he would be gone for a few days at a time. I missed Jason when he was gone, but I trusted him, and I never suspected that he was doing anything other than working. What I didn't know at the time was that Jason wasn't actually working late or going on business trips. He was spending time with Vanessa, and they were having an affair. I had no idea that the man I loved and trusted was betraying me in the worst possible way. About 6 months ago, I started noticing that Jason seemed distracted and distant, like he wasn't as present in our relationship, and he seemed to be thinking about something else all the time. When I asked Jason if everything was okay, he would say that he was just stressed about work and that I shouldn't worry about it. I tried to be understanding and supportive, but I felt like Jason was pulling away from me, and I didn't know why. I suggested that we go to couples counseling, and Jason said that we didn't need counseling, that everything was fine, and that I was overthinking things. I felt like Jason was gaslighting me. Like I knew something was wrong, but he was making me feel like I was being paranoid or crazy. I started to feel insecure in our relationship, like maybe Jason didn't love me anymore, or maybe he was having second thoughts about us. About 4 months ago, I was doing laundry, and I found a receipt in Jason's pants pocket from a restaurant that I had never been to. The receipt was for 2 people, and it was from a night when Jason had told me he was working late. I confronted Jason about the receipt, and I asked him who he had dinner with. Jason seemed caught off guard, and he stammered for a moment before saying that he had dinner with a client and that it was a work dinner. I asked Jason why he hadn't mentioned it, and Jason said that he didn't think it was important, that it was just a boring work dinner. I wanted to believe Jason, but something about his explanation didn't sit right with me. Like, why would he hide a work dinner from me? And why did he seem so nervous when I asked him about it? But I didn't have any proof that Jason was lying, so I let it go. About 3 months ago, Jason started talking about wanting to take a break from our relationship. Like, he said that he felt like we had been moving too fast, that he needed some space to figure out what he wanted, and that maybe we should spend some time apart. I was devastated, like I couldn't understand why Jason suddenly wanted to take a break when everything had seemed fine. I asked Jason if there was someone else, and Jason insisted that there wasn't, that he just needed some time to think about our relationship and figure out if this was what he really wanted. I begged Jason not to take a break. I told him that I loved him and that I wanted to work through whatever issues we were having. Jason eventually agreed to stay in the relationship, but he said that he needed me to give him some space and not be so clingy. I tried to give Jason space, but it was hard because I felt like he was slipping away from me, and I didn't know how to fix it. I started to feel like maybe I wasn't enough for Jason, like maybe he was realizing that he had made a mistake by getting into a relationship with me so soon after his divorce. About 2 months ago, Jason's behavior started to improve. Like he seemed more present in our relationship, he was more affectionate, and he started making more of an effort to spend time with me. I was relieved. Like I thought that maybe we had gotten through whatever rough patch we were going through, and that our relationship was getting back on track. What I didn't know at the time was that Jason's improved behavior was probably because Vanessa had told him that she was pregnant, and Jason was trying to figure out what to do, and he was probably trying to keep me happy while he figured out his situation with Vanessa. 3 days ago, I was home alone on a Saturday afternoon. Jason had told me that he was going to play golf with some friends, and I was just relaxing and watching TV. There was a knock on the door, and when I opened it, there was a woman standing there who I had never seen before. The woman was visibly pregnant, like she looked like she was about 5 or 6 months along, and she looked upset and angry. The woman said, "Are you Melissa?" And I said, "Yes. Who are you?" And the woman said, "My name is Vanessa, I'm Jason's ex-wife, and we need to talk." My heart started racing, and I felt this sense of dread, like I knew that whatever Vanessa was about to tell me was going to be bad. I invited Vanessa inside, and we sat down in the living room, and Vanessa said, "I'm pregnant with Jason's baby, and I thought you should know that Jason and I have been having an affair for the past year." I felt like I had been punched in the gut, like I couldn't breathe, and I just sat there staring at Vanessa, trying to process what she had just said. I said, "What do you mean you've been having an affair? Jason told me that he doesn't have any contact with you." Vanessa said that Jason had been lying to me, that he and Vanessa had reconnected about a year ago, that they had started sleeping together again, and that Jason had been telling Vanessa that he was going to leave me and get back together with her. Vanessa said that she had believed Jason, that she thought they were going to get back together and be a family, but that recently Jason had been pulling away from her and avoiding her calls. Vanessa said that she had decided to come to my house because she wanted me to know the truth, because she was tired of Jason lying to both of us, and because she wanted to force Jason to make a decision about what he was going to do about the baby. I asked Vanessa how she knew where I lived, and Vanessa said that Jason had told her, that Jason had told Vanessa all about me, about our relationship, and about our life together. I felt sick, like Jason had been living a double life, telling Vanessa about me, and telling me nothing about Vanessa. I asked Vanessa if she was sure that the baby was Jason's, and Vanessa said yes. She was absolutely sure that Jason was the only person she had been sleeping with, and that the timing matched up perfectly. Vanessa showed me ultrasound pictures, and she showed me text messages between her and Jason where Jason was talking about the baby and saying that he needed time to figure out what to do. I read the text messages, and I felt like I was going to throw up. Like the messages were clearly from Jason, and he was talking about the baby, saying things like, "I need to figure out how to tell Melissa, and I don't know if I'm ready to be a father. and I'm scared about what this means for us. I asked Vanessa why she had continued the affair with Jason if she knew that he was in a relationship with me, and Vanessa said that Jason had told her that our relationship wasn't serious, that he was only with me because he was lonely after the divorce, and that he still loved Vanessa and wanted to be with her. Vanessa said that she had believed Jason because she wanted to believe him, because she still loved him and wanted their marriage to work. But Vanessa said that she was starting to realize that Jason was a liar and a manipulator, and that he had been using both of us. I didn't know what to say, like I was in complete shock, and I felt like my entire world had just collapsed. I asked Vanessa what she wanted from me, and Vanessa said that she wanted me to know the truth, and that she wanted me to confront Jason and make him take responsibility for what he had done. Vanessa said that she was going to keep the baby, that she was going to raise the baby with or without Jason, but that she thought Jason should be involved in his child's life. Vanessa said that she was done with Jason romantically, that she realized that he was never going to leave me and be with her, and that she was moving on with her life. After Vanessa left, I just sat there in shock, trying to process everything that had just happened. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and heartbroken, like the man I loved had been cheating on me for a year, and he was about to have a baby with his ex-wife. I didn't know what to do. Like, part of me wanted to pack my bags and leave before Jason got home, but part of me wanted to confront Jason and hear his side of the story. I decided to wait for Jason to come home so I could confront him. When Jason came home a few hours later, he seemed happy and relaxed, like he had no idea that his entire world was about to come crashing down. I said, "Jason, we need to talk. Your ex-wife Vanessa came to see me today." And Jason's face went white. I said, "Vanessa told me that you've been having an affair with her for the past year and that she's pregnant with your baby. Is it true?" Jason just stood there not saying anything, and I said, "Jason, answer me. Is it true?" Jason finally said yes. "It's true. I've been seeing Vanessa, and she's pregnant with my baby." I felt like I had been slapped in the face. Like, even though I had already heard it from Vanessa, hearing Jason confirm it made it real. I said, "Jason, how could you do this to me? How could you cheat on me for a year and lie to me every single day?" Jason started crying, and he said that he was sorry, that he never meant for this to happen, that he and Vanessa had reconnected and things just happened. I said, "Things don't just happen, Jason. You made a choice to cheat on me. You made a choice to lie to me, and you made a choice to get Vanessa pregnant." Jason said that he didn't plan for Vanessa to get pregnant, that it was an accident, and that he didn't know what to do. I asked Jason why he had the affair in the first place, and Jason said that when he and Vanessa reconnected, all of the old feelings came back, and he realized that he still had feelings for her. Jason said that he loved me, but that he also loved Vanessa, and that he was confused about what he wanted. I said, "Jason, you can't love two people at the same time. You have to make a choice." And Jason said that he didn't want to lose me, but that he also felt responsible for Vanessa and the baby. I asked Jason what he had been telling Vanessa, and Jason admitted that he had been telling Vanessa that he was going to leave me and get back together with her, but that he had never actually planned to do that. Jason said that he was just telling Vanessa what she wanted to hear so that she would continue the affair. I was disgusted. Like Jason had been manipulating both of us, lying to both of us, and playing with both of our emotions. I said, "Jason, you're a liar and a manipulator, and I can't be with someone like you." Jason begged me not to leave. He said that he would end things with Vanessa, that he would be there for the baby, but that he wanted to be with me, and that he would do whatever it took to make things right. But I told Jason that it was too late, that he had betrayed my trust in the worst possible way, and that I couldn't forgive him for what he had done. I told Jason that I was leaving and that I didn't want to see him or talk to him anymore. I packed my bags and went to stay with my best friend Carla, and I've been staying with her for the past 3 days. I've been trying to process everything that happened, and I've been going through all of the emotions, anger, sadness, betrayal, and heartbreak. I've been thinking about the past year and about all of the times when Jason was probably with Vanessa, and I feel so stupid for not seeing the signs. I've been thinking about all of the lies Jason told me, all of the times he said he was working late or going on business trips, and I feel like such an idiot for believing him. I've been thinking about Vanessa, and about how she must have felt being pregnant and thinking that Jason was going to leave me and be with her, only to realize that Jason was lying to her too. Part of me feels bad for Vanessa, because she was manipulated by Jason just like I was. But part of me is also angry at her for having an affair with Jason when she knew that he was in a relationship with me. I've been thinking about the baby, and about how Jason is going to be a father, and how that's going to affect my life even though I'm not with Jason anymore. Like, if I had stayed with Jason, I would have had to deal with the fact that he has a child with his ex-wife, and that Vanessa would always be in our lives. I've been thinking about whether I made the right decision by leaving Jason, and I know that I did. Like, I can't be with someone who cheated on me for a year, who lied to me every single day, and who got his ex-wife pregnant. But part of me is still sad about losing the relationship, because I really love Jason, and I thought we had a future together. I've been going to therapy to help me process everything, and my therapist has been really helpful in validating my feelings and helping me see that what Jason did was a form of emotional abuse. My therapist has explained that Jason was gaslighting me, making me feel like I was being paranoid when I questioned him, and that he was manipulating both me and Vanessa. My therapist has also helped me understand that I'm grieving multiple losses right now. I'm grieving the loss of my relationship with Jason, the loss of my trust in him, the loss of the future I thought we were going to have together, and the loss of my sense of security and stability. I've been thinking about Jason and about whether he feels genuine remorse for what he did, and honestly, I don't think he does. I think Jason is sorry that he got caught, and I think he's sorry that he's losing me, but I don't think he truly understands the depth of the pain and betrayal that he caused me and Vanessa. Jason has been calling and texting me constantly, begging me to talk to him, saying that he loves me and that he wants to fix our relationship. But I've blocked his number because I don't want to hear from him, and I don't want to be manipulated by him anymore. I've been thinking about Vanessa and about what her life is going to be like as a single mother raising Jason's baby, and I feel bad for her. Vanessa reached out to me a few days after she came to my house, and she apologized for the way she told me about the affair, and she said that she hoped I was doing okay. I appreciated Vanessa's message, and I responded and told her that I was sorry that Jason had manipulated both of us, and that I hoped she and the baby would be okay. Vanessa and I have been messaging back and forth a little bit, and it's strange because we're both victims of Jason's lies and manipulation, and we're both trying to figure out how to move forward. I've been thinking about my future, and about what I want my life to look like, and I know that I want to be with someone who is honest, someone who is loyal, and someone who would never cheat on me or lie to me. I know that I deserve better than Jason, and I'm determined to find someone who will treat me with the respect and love that I deserve. I've been thinking about the lessons I've learned from this experience, and there are so many. I've learned to trust my instincts because I had a feeling that something was wrong with Jason's behavior, and I was right. I've learned that if someone is being secretive with their phone or making excuses about where they are, that's a red flag and you should investigate further. I've learned that some people are capable of living double lives, of lying to multiple people at the same time, and of manipulating people to get what they want. And I've learned that some betrayals are unforgivable, and that it's okay to walk away from a relationship when someone has violated your trust in such a fundamental way. I've been thinking about other women who might be in similar situations, who might be dating someone who is still involved with their ex, or who might be being lied to and manipulated by their partner, and I want to tell them to trust their instincts, to pay attention to red flags, and to not be afraid to ask questions and demand honesty. I want to tell them that if their partner is being secretive or evasive, that's not normal, and they deserve to know the truth. I want to tell them that they deserve to be with someone who is honest and loyal, and that they shouldn't settle for someone who lies to them and cheats on them. I've been thinking about Jason and Vanessa, and about what their relationship is going to be like now that they have a baby together, and honestly, I don't care. That's their problem to figure out, and I'm just glad that I'm not involved in it anymore. I've been thinking about moving forward with my life, and about rebuilding after this betrayal, and I'm actually feeling hopeful. Like, yes, I'm heartbroken and I'm angry, but I'm also relieved to be free from Jason's lies and manipulation, and I'm excited about the possibility of finding someone who will treat me the way I deserve to be treated. I've been spending time with my friends and family, and they've been incredibly supportive. Like, they've been there to listen when I need to talk, they've been helping me find a new place to live, and they've been reminding me that I'm strong and that I'm going to get through this. I've been thinking about the red flags that I ignored in my relationship with Jason, and I'm making a mental note of them so that I don't ignore them in future relationships. Like the fact that Jason was secretive with his phone, the fact that he was working late all the time, the fact that he was distant and distracted. Those were all signs that something was wrong, and I should have paid more attention to them. I've been thinking about the fact that Jason never really talked about Vanessa or his divorce, and how that should have been a red flag. Like, if someone is completely silent about their ex, that might mean that they're not actually over them, or that they're still in contact with them. I've been thinking about the fact that Jason wanted to take a break from our relationship a few months ago, and how that was probably because Vanessa had just told him that she was pregnant, and he was trying to figure out what to do. I'm glad that I convinced Jason to stay in the relationship at the time, because otherwise I might never have found out about the affair and the baby. I've been thinking about what would have happened if Vanessa hadn't come to my house and told me the truth. Like, would Jason have ever told me? Or would he have just continued lying to me and living his double life? I think Jason probably would have continued lying, and I'm grateful to Vanessa for having the courage to tell me the truth, even though it was painful to hear. I've been thinking about the baby, and about how that baby is going to grow up with a father who is a liar and a cheater, and I feel bad for that child. I hope that Jason steps up and becomes a good father, but based on his behavior, I'm not optimistic. I've been thinking about whether Jason and Vanessa will get back together now that I'm out of the picture, and honestly, I don't think they will, because Vanessa told me that she's done with Jason romantically. But even if they do get back together, that's not my problem anymore, and I'm just glad that I'm not involved in their drama. I've been thinking about the future, and about the possibility of finding love again, and I'm hopeful, but also cautious. I know that I need to take time to heal from this betrayal before I start dating again, and I'm committed to doing the work in therapy to process my emotions and to learn from this experience. I've been thinking about forgiveness, and about whether I'll ever be able to forgive Jason for what he did, and right now I don't think I will. What Jason did was so cruel and so selfish, and it caused me so much pain, and I don't think that's something I can forgive. But I also know that holding on to anger and resentment is only going to hurt me, so I'm working on letting go of those feelings. Not for Jason's sake, but for my own sake. I'm working on accepting what happened, on grieving the loss of the relationship, and on moving forward with my life. Thank you for reading my story. And if you've been through something similar, if your partner cheated on you with their ex, if you found out that your partner got someone else pregnant, if you've been lied to and manipulated by someone you loved, or if you've had to leave a relationship because of infidelity and betrayal, I would love to hear how you dealt with it and where you are now. I'm still in the early stages of healing, still processing the betrayal, still figuring out how to move forward, but I'm hopeful that I'll come out of this stronger and that I'll find someone who will love me honestly and faithfully.